on time for work on Tuesday, which means for the first time in a long time I haven't had to hurry. So, and the weather officially, at least for today, and hopefully it continues, doesn't leave the 40s in the downward direction. I said no more 30-degree weather. I hope. So that I can wear this lovely wool poncho that initially was a regret back in the fall. I bought it in November. I was influenced, and that started off this whole de-influencing journey that I went on. Or I unsubscribed for a lot of YouTubers, and I started just drastically cutting back on not really just what I buy, but drastically cut on what I think I like. Like, no, this is not actually for me. This is because I'm getting caught up in what someone is saying and someone else is showing me. So it looks good on them, and then I apply that to me without actually applying that to me. So I bought this lovely coat, and I'm not gonna knock the coat. It's a lovely coat, and that's the problem. Because when I saw it on Just Be Lou, I was like, this coat is gorgeous, and I absolutely want it. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my god, this is a coat I could wear forever. Like, I could wear this coat in my 70s. I can wear this coat in my 80s. And so I regretted it, but I'm happy I bought it at the same time. So, but it did spark the beginnings of kind of like, I'm cutting this stuff off and I'm trying to see it for what it is. And exploring those conversations with you. It was something I saw this morning as I was having coffee and getting ready. That was about, 10 signs that you are fake rich. And I already seen a million of these. All the stuff is the same, But one thing was quite different about this particular video. And part of the fake rich, now normally on the fake rich videos, it's you're buying a designer bag when you actually can't afford the designer bag. So you're trying to pretend you're rich when you're not by buying this designer bag. And that's been constantly, right? You're just like, you're buying the bag, but then you can't really afford it. Because if you have to save up for the bag, you can't afford the bag. Right? This is what they're saying, but this is what I actually tell myself. If I have to save up for something, I can't afford it. And so therefore, I'm really gonna think twice, 3 times about getting it, because that's a red flag for me. For me. Okay, well, so this woman, or this channel, it has a woman's voice. I don't know if it's a woman. I think it's an AI voice. It's a lot of those too. There's a lot of YouTube videos and channels out there that have AI voices, and I don't know if it's because the person is not comfortable with their English, they have a strong accent, or it's because they don't want to be recognized, or they want their voice to be recognized. They want to be more anonymous. They can say more things than maybe they normally would. I don't even know. I don't know. That's another conversation for another day. But they were saying, people that buy the fake, okay, fine, I'll just say the fake or the super fake replica bags. You're saying you're buying a fake, to the discerning eye, someone who knows what a luxury bag should look like, or the stitch counts, or the distance between the logos or the hardware, will instantly see you from a mile away, and you're just gonna be looking really bad because they'll be able to tell, or it'll fall apart right away, and it's gonna be obvious to people that you're pretending to be something you're not, because when you buy these replicas, you're pretending to be somebody you're not. And I find it funny And it totally it kind of ruined some of the other points that we're trying to make. Because once you see a problem, it kind of this is a danger, right? Because once you see a problem with something, then everything else is okay, well, this is a problem. Then what about the other stuff? But I found it so simplistic, such a simplistic vision or idea or interpretation of why people buy these replica items, right? It's so simplistic and immediately goes towards well, you're trying too hard, and so this looks bad. One, very few people, if any, in the regular everyday world will know anything about the stitch count on a Chanel between the quiltings. How many people know that there should be 10 stitches in between on certain Chanel bags, or 8 stitching? Nobody knows that. Nobody's looking close enough to care. And if someone's looking that close to investigate, then they should have better things to do than to investigate your bag. Most people just be like, oh, that's a cute bag, Or if they're really rude, they'll ask you if it's real. Unless they're close to you, right? It's someone that you normally talk to and discuss these things with, whatever. There's a certain situation for certain things. But it's sorry, I got distracted by this construction here again. It is just, most people just be like, it's a cute bag. They don't care whether it's real or fake, or a replica. A lot of people, most people that I know that I encounter with this don't really care. I think only one person that I've encountered actually says, cares about it and does not want to participate in any replica, anything, and says, well, why don't you just buy the same bag but without the logo? And that's as far as they go, and they don't want to entertain anything replica. And they're very young, they're a teacher, and they're spending their money on Cartier and designer bags. But they also live at home and keep their entire salary, and they were given a Mercedes car. So the life is completely incomparable. You can't compare the lives. And so okay. And when she asked me, I'm like, well, I don't really care about the logo per se. However, I don't want to make it super obvious that I'm carrying a replica. I like the style, and I admire it. And honestly, I'm providing free advertising for these luxury brands. So I'm giving something back, quote unquote. Even though I'm not paying them their luxury prices, I am carrying and displaying their items in a positive way, because I'm trying to look nice when I'm wearing them, and putting that seed or planting that seed perhaps in other people to get it. I mean, I don't know, could I make that argument? So this idea that I'm doing brands a disservice, I'm not, I'm not buying these arguments. I remember watching a video about someone talking when, music was copied without paying for it. So Limewire back in the day, all these things. and that it was really frowned upon in that time because you're stealing from the artist, all this stuff. But then it was found that people who may not necessarily buy the music are still giving money in a different way. So they're the ones buying the concert tickets. They're the ones that are buying the t-shirts, the posters, talking about it, spreading the word about this artist for other people to then buy it. Like, oh, can I fit here? Oh my God, these spots are like so tiny. So the industry and the artist was still growing thanks to these people because they were getting recognized, they were getting seen. And so quietly, everybody shut up about it. They stopped pursuing these, music, copyrights or whatever you would call it. Like, like if you're like, not paying for listening to the music. They stopped pursuing that because it actually, at the end of the day, was hurting them to stop people from listening and becoming fans. Even if they didn't pay for the music in the beginning. Oh, I don't think I can stay here. And I would say in some way, it's kind of the same with these packs. It's like, no, I'm not spending the $3,000 or the $5,000. Oh, I can say here, $5,000. But I'm walking around displaying your brand, showing how it can look nice, cute, making people aware that the brand is popular, being used, active, alive, and they may in turn get it, or maybe I in the future might love the bag enough that I decide, you know what, I actually want to get it, and then pay for it. Whereas if I had never had access to it, I would completely have it out of my realm, and I would have never even known about it, thought about it, talked about it, planted the idea in other people's heads, and just nothing. The brand would have never spread, right? There's always the potential, and even with me, there's always the potential that eventually at some point in my life, I'm going to want to own the authentic version of some bags. Like I go to the Real, and who knows? I may be like, wait, let me make sure I have everything. I may be like, oh, you know what? I'll actually buy that YSL bag. It's really nice. I've been using it forever, and it really works for my life. It would be really great for me to treat myself once in my lifetime to that bag. I know it works for me. And therefore, YSL will eventually make a sale on me when they would have never otherwise have done that, because I would have never, it would have been so out of my reach and out of my even worldly view. So, yeah. I love watching these videos in the morning because I find them so interesting. They give me so many ideas to talk about with you guys. So anyway, I'm on my way to school and I'm really cold. So I'm going to put my hand down. I'm going to put away my phone. It's a gorgeous day. Go outside, enjoy it. Spring is finally here.